How about that? It's a 3/8 scale model of an advanced Rushville owned by the Bishop family in San Antonio. Bishop helped us a lot with the tug of war, and I think BJ's in charge of the camping, and that is Wyatt, and Cole. You got a whistle, boys? Any more? Any more? They should have got that coin deal, and they could have maybe got enough money to buy a shirt. A half-scale model, Mr. Calvin Niehoff of College Corner, Ohio. Robbie, the driver up there today. How about that, Robbie? Robbie's our special buddy. He's driving in the parade today. And Robbie, you got a whistle? Any more? Any more? Any more? Hang on. Any more? All right, thank you. Here is a 1/3 scale model of an advanced Rushville owned by Steve Countryman of Middletown, Ohio. You got a whistle? Any more? Any more? All right, thank you. There, he finally got it running. Jeff and Rachel Atkinson from Lake City, Indiana. Inherited this from my parents this year from
you need that, Mark.
Darlene Atkins. How about that? They got it running good. All right. 144 in our parade. This is a 1974 wheel horse owned by Colton Martin, Metamora. And the oil pool, 1923 Rushville oil pool Model G, owned by R.L. Food Family of Rushville. There. That's good enough. Yeah. That's good whistle. Being followed by a 1929 Rushville Oil Model Z, owned by the R.L. Food Family of Rushville. Davidson, the driver up there. You got a whistle? Okay. We had all the whistles on the front one. Featuring the Matthew Hurst line this year. This is a 1918 Matthew Hurst number 2, owned by Tom and Cindy Jansen of Effingham, Illinois. That's where the cross is, isn't it? Yeah, I bet that. You got a whistle? All right. Next up is the Matthew Hurst 101 Super, and built in 19, I think it says 40 or 1940, owned by Grand Magic of Richmond, Michigan. Being followed by a Matthew Hurst 1935 GP 4-wheel drive, owned by Louis Chapman of Richmond, Michigan. Behind him is a 1937 Matthew Hurst Challenger, owned by Richville Indiana. Hey, that's not away. Being followed by Matthew Ferguson, number 14, owned by Bob Winsler. So from here is the 1956 Ferguson 40, owned by Bob Winsler in Edison. Up next is the 1955 Nancy Harris Pacer, owned by Joanne Winsler. Next up, number 54 coming in front of me is the 1952 Matthew Harris Pony, owned by Annabelle Douglas of Oldenburg, Indiana. Is that Annabelle? All right. What's the plow? Being followed by a 1952 Matthew Harris. Who got that? The 1962 Matthew versus Super 90, owned by Leonard Hunter of Gosport, Indiana. The 1953 Ford Super owned by Leonard Hunter of Gosport. Right in front of me right now is a 1951 Matthew Harris 30, owned by Glenn and Sue Graham. Edinburgh, Indiana. And a military one. Matthew Harris I-330-6 were made for the U.S. Navy, only one to survive. Gary Hensweller, I believe, of Danville. I-162. Gary Hensweller, the owner. Fine looking machine. Next up is the Matthew Harris number 98. Of West Liberty, Ohio. Number 50 right here in front of me now. The 1956 Ferguson TO-35, beige and green, is that? Owned by Rob and Tanya Fisher of Raleigh. This one here, watch what it does. Look at that pan. Can you believe that? Fancy I-22 was made to tractor used in the military, had super mega underbelly to pick up metal on the runway. Have you ever seen anything like that? Next one is the 1957 Ferguson 35 Standard with a diesel motor, owned by Floyd and Beth Moore of Wellington. Don't have the 709. But we needed that for filming. 1963 Magic vs. 97 front wheel assist, owned by Merv Lawrence of Greensburg. And the next one, Danny. Next to do. The next one right here is the Matthew Harris from 1951. It's a 44 diesel, owned by Jerry Weber of Napoleon, Indiana. Next up, 1956 Matthew Harris 444 Standard, Jerry Weber of Napoleon. 609 in our parade, 1953 Matthew Harris Mustang, owned by Morris and Marcy Oaks of Greensburg. And right here, Dennis Brown with a 1951 M8 Forger diesel. Sumner, Iowa. Sumner, Iowa to come to our show. Look at this year. They got cool. 1973, after 36, 1155, the Spirit of America, John Bush from Shelbyville. Next up is a 55 Matthew Harris 4-4 Special, owned by Gary Scott of Kenton, Ohio. Coming in front of me right now, this is a 56 Matthew Harris 333, owned by Gary Scott of Kenton, Ohio. Right in front of me is the 1953 E.O. Ferguson 30 and the wagon, owned by James Stevens, Fredericksburg, Indiana. Being followed by a 1977 Matthew Ferguson 1105, followed by Bill and Julie Rushville. That's what I do. I let her drive every time I get a chance. Up next, the 1964 Matthew Ferguson 50, owned by Paul Wyatt. Is it New Berlin? Is that where you're from? Okay. So New Berlin. Being followed by Matthew 48, Matthew Harris 48. Tony, owned by Frank Berlinski of Canton, Ohio. And one that's pretty familiar with us, the 1935 Matthew Harris General Purpose, owned by Joe Bernice Lambert of Batesville. Up next, the 1973 Matthew Ferguson 175 with the loader. They're likely the original owner from Rushville. Next up is the 1957 035, owned by Carl Thornton. Is it Frankieburg? Frankieburg. I've never heard of that. All right, glad to have you. 56 Matthew Harris 50, owned by Carl Morrison of Frankieburg, Ohio. Right in front of me right now, that's not the most in the parade, all right, good. A 1968 Matthew Ferguson 175. Jonathan and Susan Faith, the family of Rushville. I think that's the family. Up next, the 1950 Nancy Harris 44 Diesel Standard, owned by Mr. John Bush of Shelbyville. And right here in front is a 47 Nancy Harris 55 gas, owned by John Bush of Shelbyville. For $489 is a 1951 Nancy Harris 44 Standard, owned by Steve and Bev Wright of Centerburg, Ohio. Holding the time, a 1954 Nancy Harris 33 Standard Diesel, very rare, he says, owned by Steve and Marcy Auburn of Marion, South Dakota. Pulling the sign for their show. A 52 Nancy 30. KR says, okay, I got it now. Well, Nancy, Louisiana. The 1956 Nancy Harris 50 loader, owned by Gary Albert of Germantown, Illinois. And old steel. 1955 old steel, built 1947. 89 strong. From El Paso, Illinois. Up next is a 1960 Massey Ferguson 88 diesel. Is it Charles Gibson? Gerson. Okay. Charles Gerson of Hardin, Illinois. The 1948 Case V8 with a Nancy Harris manure spreader. Dave and Leah Slenderman of Rushville. And the guys that helped me with the pole here just a little earlier. It's the 1929 McCormick Jerry Regular Farmall. Paul Walker and his family from Greensburg. He bought this tractor when he was 14 years old. That's been a few years, I'm telling you. And the dump wagon. The original dump wagon.
That's how they did it. There's water. Go back in their lane. Yeah.
This is a 1956 Nancy Harris 50. The man from Memphis, the most there. All of the Raiders. And Jamie up there, great that stone out. Keeping it out of our pole lane. Keep it to their side. We had a lot of the Nancy line go through the parade, a lot of them didn't parade, but after the parade we do invite you to walk over there and go through their bike display. Coming up next is a 1945 John Deere 8, owned by Lee and Sherry Davis of Rushville. Followed by a 38 John Deere D, owned by Mr. Edward Hood of Rushville. The 1927 Delta second edition separator there, Edward Williams. Here's the 35 McCormick Dairy Farm on F12, Roger Hood from Rushville. Pulling a 29 McCormick Dairy number 7 mower. Roger Hood, available for custom. You got to lift up your apron. 35 by 1964 Oliver 770. Don Hotel of Liberty, Indiana. There's one done gave out for the parade. He didn't make it all the way through. It's been a long night or something. The 1941 Farmall H, owned by Adam and Andrea Jacobs of Manila. Up next is the 1940 John Deere 8, owned by Caitlin Reese of Ned, Indiana, being followed by a 1950 John Deere A, owned by the Miller Clan of Long. Up next is the homemade 1950. Made by his grandfather, he says, Clifford at Alexandria, Indiana. The 1947 2-in Ford, owned by Kevin Meyer of Osgood, Indiana. Being followed by a 1952 8-in Ford, owned by Shelley Spillman of Osgood. With the utility wagon, owned by Shelley Spillman of Osgood. Was my great father's wagon, J.J. Wood. Grandfather restored it in the 80s, and I pulled it out of a ditch and restored it this year. Called the wooden wagon after J.J. Wood. How about that? Oh my goodness. So the 1940 McCormick Dairy W6, pulling a 1942 McCormick Dairy 3 or 5 horsepower engine is for sale. Alright. Being followed by a 1937 Cross Model 2, Cody Spray from Indianapolis. Cody's being followed by a Destiny Hours Chalmers owned by Harold Burnett of Scipio. Number 323 is driving right now the 36 John Deere Z, owned by Grant Hill of Falcon. Right in front of me now is a 1950 John Deere MP, owned by Steve Sharp of Batesville. Jim Cloud is driving a 1955 Ferguson. I see that. Hang on a minute. There we go. There's the 37 John Deere B. Andy and Carol Boyd. We have the wrong car. Is a 1950 John Deere G, owned by Andy Niles of St. Paul, Indiana. Coming up to drive is the 1959 John Deere 730, owned by Andy Niles of St. Paul, Indiana. you announced you needed a drink of wine. The 1936 John Deere 8, owned by Rushville and A.M. of Dayton, Indiana. Number 171 coming in our parade is a 1946 Farmall H, owned by Tom Revel of Millroy. Next up, little John Deere 317. Sean and Nathan DeLay from Knightstown. Larry Hansel and Dakota Raines own a 1949 Allo Chalmers WD. The Do Not Bust. Okay, I'll take that word. Next up is a 1956 900 Ford owned by the Kent Lyson family of Milroy. Grandfather purchased this new in 1956, been in the family ever since. How about that?